Welcome to Osun, the capital of Osun State. I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by the director, the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, Habila Joshak. Thank you so much, GIG, for coming on the news at 10.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, viewers.
Let's get some clarity. How many of your men are on the ground for this election?
Yes, I do not want to mention figure now, but I do know that we have well over 18,000 that we've deployed for the securing of the polling units, polling booths, the ballot boxes, and yet we have an array of officers also known as the Tactical Operation Team. Or those ones we have 40 units comprising of 63 per unit. Those ones are the Tactical Operation Team that rove around, that show visibility, that are responsible for, checking crime and criminality around the environment, but not at the polling booths and the polling units. We also have a lot of other security that we've deployed. We have the intelligence unit, led by 2 commissioners of police, the one for the intelligence, another for the X squad, and for the purpose of checking officers and men on duty. In short, I won't come up with a number, but the number is not less than 28,000 that are on ground for this election.
You have how many commissioners of police who are on the...
We have 11 commissioners of police. This time around, coming out from the election from Ikiti, we've decided that commissioners of police are posted to the area command. And we have 8 area commands. So we're going to have a commissioner of police at the area command to be able to give good security for the process of this election and to take sound decision to be able to ensure that there is added value in the processing of provision of security across all boards in this election.
Why are you deploying so much for just a state governorship election?
Small, not much.
28,000?
28,000, not much. We like I told you, we need to secure some infrastructure. And remember, we're doing this all with other security agencies who also have made contribution. And these men that we're going to use, you are aware that we're going to lock down the entrance and the exit on a 24-hour basis, beginning from 12 o'clock this night until tomorrow at 6. And so in doing that, you need the men. You also need to put some men on standby. These men on standby will respond to distress call at short notice. Because if there are issues that require intervention and these officers are not there, you don't call them in any of these states and you find them because there are no way that they can respond. And so it's a contingent of preparation that the security will be adequate, including the standby. We have a unit and a half of mobile police women that are also here.
The fear is if you are deploying this much for just a state governorship election, 2019 election is just around the corner. Would you be able to make such a kind of deployment happen across the country?
Well, definitely not. And like I said, we need to make sure that we add value and do it differently. Having come out from some of these states that we've conducted election, to ensure that this process is credible. If by the time we spread them, you're not going to say anyone. This number is not up to the one that we had in Ikiti. And we have 30 local government here. And by the time we deploy them and we put on the standby and we do all these activities, the air wing and what have you, you're going to see no large number.
We understand that the Osun State Commissioner of Police has been changed for the purpose of this election. Why?
I told you, coming from the past elections, if someone who is very important for this process is raising some issues and does not want him around. Of course, he hasn't anything to do much. The best thing is for him to step aside and we put someone that is just new there, because he's not going to use any experience. All of them that are here, all the commissioners have participated in election monitoring, election supervision, and election security. And so it's no cause of alarm.
The issue of vote buying is a critical one leading up to this election. What are your strategies to curb it?
You are going to see a very, very robust action towards that direction. Remember that the 2011 electoral law, as amended, has part of it as offenses on election day. And out of that, you will see anybody who tried to canvass for votes, anyone who tried to coerce people for votes, and that includes anybody who want to influence and want to pay money or to sell his votes, fall within this range. And so INEC, in its own wisdom, have decided that we put all this to check, and and that's why we're saying that we have a lot of intelligence platform, intelligence officers, men of who are going to, including the DSS and the Nigerian police and other security agencies, who are going to look out for such people, and they will be arrested. So we've arrested 6.
So you are ready for this election?
Very, very ready.
Well, we must leave it at that. DIG Habila Joshak, in charge of police operations, thank you so much for talking to us on the News at 10.
Thank you for having me.